Hello everyone, welcome to another research skill session. In this part, we're going to discuss about MLA 8th edition. It is an introduction and the session will share about what is so special about the 8th version of this MLA citation. So what is MLA? MLA is an abbreviation of Modern Language Association. It is an association founded in December 1883. It was a discussion and advocacy group for the study of literature and modern languages. In 1951, the MLA's executive director William Riley Parker prepared the MLA style sheet, the first document published by the MLA, recommending uniformity in the preparation of scholarly manuscript. This Parker style sheet was the precursor to the MLA Handbook. Moreover, MLA is a style of documentation that may be applied to many different types of writing, mostly to cover subjects on language, literature, and humanities. In its previous version, they have this set of rigid rules that manage specifically for the medium you cited from. But since texts have become increasingly digital, and the same document may often be found in several different sources, following a set of rigid rules no longer suffices. Thus, the current 8th version system is based on a few guiding principles rather than an extensive list of specific rules. While the handbook still describes how to cite sources, it is organized according to the process of documentation rather than by the sources themselves. This gives writer a flexible method that is near universally applicable. Once you are familiar with the method, you can use it to document any type of sources for any type of paper in any field. Here is an overview of the process. When deciding how to cite your source, start by consulting the list of core elements. See the black box on the right. These elements are the general pieces of information that MLA suggests including in each works cited entry. In your citation, these elements should be listed in the exact order as shown. Each element should be followed by the corresponding punctuation marks shown above. In the current version, punctuation is simpler, only commas and periods separate the elements, and information about the source is kept to the basics. So on the black box we can see basic components of MLA's works cited. Number 1, authors. Number 2, title of source. Number 3, title of container. Number 4, other contributors. Number 5, version. Number 6, numbers. Number 7, publisher. Number 8, publication date. And number 9, location. Please use period or dot to end each color part above. As you can see, there are 3 types of colors. One is red, the next is orange, and the last one is blue. So make sure you put dot or period to end each part of those different colors. In most cases, you won't find all of them completely. Just process what you find and do it in order. This is the example how to use the MLA. Here are the sample of journal. The title is Digital Media Literacy to Higher Students in Indonesia, written by Lucy Pujasari Supratman and Aib Wahyudin. As you can see, number 1 for the authors. written in orange, and then the title of the source, we are using quotation mark, as you can see, printed in blue color. And then the next one is title of container, including the descriptor of the container, including the version, numbers, and the publication date. And then last one is the location, printed in orange, okay, or red. And then another sample is book cover of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. As you can see, we write as shown on the screen. So Coffee Sean is the author, and then the title written in italic because here is the container. There is no smaller works or smaller article on it, okay, because it is describing the whole book. So it is the container, the main one. And Fireside is the publisher and also publication date. Formatting the author. If you have single author, write the last name of the author and then put comma and then end it with first name of the author. And you can add second name initial if any. In here we can see Twain, Mark for Mark Twain, and then for Sir Arthur Conan Doyle we write Doyle, Arthur, and then second initial name, end it with period or dot. And then if you have two authors, write the first author last name, and then put comma, and then first author first name, and then put another comma and write and then write the regular name writing, first name and then last name. Don't change the order of the first and second author of the books, okay? The sample is again Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and Mark Twain. In here we write Doyle, Arthur as the first author, and then put comma and then write and then the regular writing of people's name, Mark Twain, first name and last name. If you have 3 or more authors, abbreviate with et al and then put period. It is an abbreviation from Latin words mean and others. They pronounce it as et alia. The sample is like this: Doyle, Arthur, and et al, and then period. And for author by organization or institution, do not modify. Use what is printed in the source. Okay. And if there is no author, such as web page or web article without author, begin the entry with the title of the work. Avoid use the information such as anonymous, unknown, or not applicable or not available. Okay. And formatting the title. 3 simple rules. Capitalization, follow the MLA standard title case rules, okay, not the source, because sometimes books can be printed with all capital letters for the title in their cover, but you cannot follow the book's cover rules, okay? Stick to what MLA has been written. For example, capitalize the first word, nouns and pronouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, and also subordinating conjunction such as although, because, until, after, etc. And use small case for articles such as a, and, the. And then preposition such as after, against, between, on, to. And also the last one, coordinating conjunction such as and, but, for, nor. Okay. And there is a term of larger work and smaller works. Larger works or standalone titles such as books that have chapters. The whole book, we call it as larger works. Website with lots of web article, the website's name is the larger works. And also movies, journals, newspaper, you need to write them in italics, okay? And for smaller works, which is one of the book chapters, one of one of the article in newspaper or a TV episode or an article of a journal, etc. Just write them in quotation marks and end the quotation marks in the questions or exclamation mark or a period. Okay. Container, formatting the container. The concept of containers is crucial to MLA style. When the source being documented as a part of a larger whole, the larger whole can be thought of as a container that holds the source. For example, a short story may be contained in a book of anthology. The short story is the source, and the anthology book is the container. Sample of other containers and their contents. A TV series and one of its episodes, a website and its web articles, a newspaper and its news articles, the journals and its entries or notes, a music album and songs in it. Okay, and container follows the title case rules in italics. Refer MLA title rules or protocols before, and then the container usually ends in a comma because the next following info is the container's descriptor. Formatting the other contributor, if any. While it is generally just the author of a work that is included in a citation, there can be times when there are other contributors that can be included, especially when their work played a large role in your research. They can include directors, performers, editors, translators, and many other roles. This portion of citation occurs if you are working with a source that is adapted by, directed by, translated by, illustrated by, narrated by, performed by, introduced by, edited by. Okay. In works cited, this info usually placed after the container info. The example is as shown on the screen. Formatting the version. If any, sources can be released in different versions or forms. For example, a book can have various versions such as a first then second edition or an updated edition. A song can have an extended version or a radio edit. A movie can have an unrated or an uncut version, and many other more. It is important to communicate to the reader which version was used to help them locate the exact source themselves. Categories such as numbered edition, revised edition, authorized Bible version, updated version, or updated edition, expanded edition, director's cut, and many more. Example, in journal, we usually find like volume and number. In textbook, we can also see 5th edition, 4th edition, and many other more. In Bible, we have King James Version or New International Version, and another one is an IRV, New International Revised Version, and many other more. And in movies, sometimes we can see director's cut and other terms. Formatting the numbers. If any, some sources are given a number. For example, an encyclopedia, which is part of a set, often has a volume number. Comic books, magazines, and journal issues are often given a volume number and an issue number. Television episodes are often numbered as well, as their seasons too. If a book is given a volume number, usually it will be printed on the spine, cover, or the title page. Comic books, magazines, and journals often have their volume number and issue number printed on the front cover. For television show episodes and seasons, this information can usually be found on the packaging or by clicking on the information while watching the show. For volume numbers, use the abbreviation vol and then put dot. And for issue numbers, use the abbreviation no and then dot in the citation. Formatting the publisher. The publisher is the company that was responsible for making the work available. There are numerous publishing companies that are responsible for the creation and the release of books, movies, television shows, and other sources. Websites are often published by many different types of organizations and companies. such as museums or government agencies. To locate the publisher of a book, look at the bottom of the title page or on the Verso page. For films and television shows, the publisher can often be found on the packaging or in the credits section. For websites, the name of publisher is often next to the copyright symbol at the bottom of the page. Formatting the publication date. The publication date, which is the date that the source was released, is a necessary component of an MLA citation. Including this information helps the reader locate the specific source that was used, as oftentimes there are numerous versions of sources that are released at different times. When including the date of publication, there aren't any set rules to how the date should be input into the citation. For example, you can use May 5, 2016 or 5 May 2016. What does matter is consistency. Whichever way the date is placed in one citation, the same format should be applied in the other citation in your project. Names of months that use more than 4 letters are written with abbreviations. Formatting location. It is often helpful to include the exact location of where you found your information, so that the reader can locate it themselves. For example, let's say that you use a quote from a book in your project. If the reader wants to find the quote for themselves, it will be helpful to include the page number in the citation. Or, if you were to use a cover story from a magazine, including the page ranges helps the reader easily find the information. Additionally, website addresses are extremely helpful to include. When including a page or a page range in your citation, use the abbreviation P dot when including information about one page only. And you can use PP dot when including a page range. So remember, P dot 1P for one page only and PP dot for page range. When including website address in a citation, omit the HTTP semicolon and then backslash or the other one of the citation, since the reader can assume that the beginning of the address includes that information already. This is another sample of MLA Ed version citation. As you can see, I tried to differentiate the color. Red for the authors, orange for the title, and then green for the container, blue for the contributors, 5 version and numbers in purple, and publisher in bright red, and then publication date in bright blue, and last one, location in gray. As you can see, the sample MLA 8 citation for songs. Here is the Beatles with the song Come Together in album Abbey Road, published by Parlophone in 2013. The location is track number 1 in the album is Come Together, right? Okay, so that is how we write the works cited, okay, of the song. Another one is for website. As you can see, Nicolas Provenzano, we write it the MLA with the MLA rules regarding the authors. So last name and then comma and then first name, and then the smaller works, or which is the web article title, put it in quotation mark, project-based learning and the Great Gatsby. And then the website name or the website title is the Nerdy Teacher. Written or published on May 3rd, 2016. And then you complete the citation with the URL of the website. And then another one is example citation for the movies. As you can see, they're using the information of other contributors. directed by Oliver Stone, and then director's cut edition, yeah, to describe the version. Okay, that's all for now. We're going to discuss each of the components later on in another clip. Hope you can get something useful in this clip. So thank you and see you in other clips.